Welcome back, legends. I hope you're all amazing. This amp really needs no introduction, and not doing an introduction means I don't have to hold it up like this for too long because it's big and heavy. It's a Diezel VH4. It belongs to friend of the channel, Bren. Send Bren some love in the comment section below. I got a text message last week saying, "Hey Leon, I love the channel. I'm going away for a few weeks. Would you like to borrow my VH4, my Recto cab, and my massive pedal board?" And well, of course I said yes. How could you refuse getting to try out a classic amplifier like this? If you've never heard of the VH4 before, 4 channels, varying voicings on here. You've got some really interesting features and a very interesting knob layout, which we'll talk about during the video. But this is an amp that is kind of in the high gain Hall of Fame for good reason. We're going to hear why. There are timestamps in the video description if you want to hear each channel and different guitars, but I'm going to make a bunch of noise on this and a bunch of guitar faces. Let's go. Now, as much as I want to jump straight to channel 3 in drop D to just absolutely pump out some riffage, I've put timestamps in this video and you've probably already gone to channel 3 and you're circling back around. So let's hear channel 1 on the split neck pickup of my PRS DGT. I actually really like the way this one breaks up on here. So I'm going to be bringing up the gain gradually over the course of this little clip, and I'll bring the bright in and out, starting out again with this neck pickup split, and then eventually I'll end up on the bridge pickup in full humbucking mode. This one's pretty chimey, and for a 4-channel high gain head, normally the clean channel's an afterthought. I dig this one. Something that pops out to me there is with the gain control below noon, unlike a lot of these channel switching high gain amps, the sound's still quite compressed, especially when playing on that split neck pickup there, which in my opinion makes it a lot more usable. Compression is kind of a dirty word when a lot of people use it in relation to amps, but a lot of the time when you're playing live or you're recording, you actually want some of that compression in there because it's going to even everything out. Your guitar's not really going to get lost in the mix. Personally, channel 1 I like more for that kind of chimey style thing with the gain above noon, but it also does a pretty awesome rock crunch in there. Kind of Vox meets Plexi to my ears in the upper range of that gain control. Channel 2, however, really leans into that Marshall style thing. Hopefully you can kind of see the knob settings on here. Just as an aside, the way the knobs are laid out on this, it's obviously a prank. Obviously, they designed this to really annoy everybody. It is my least favorite knob layout on an amp I have ever come across. I am constantly reading a label like this, that one right there, where I read it, and there's the knob, and underneath I can see the word volume. So I think that's the volume control, not the gain control. I have been conditioned as a user of amplifiers to see a knob here, and see a label underneath it. Maybe that was the point. That's all I can think of, that, hey, we're going to do this so that when you twist the knob, you actually listen to it and it makes you look at the amp. But it's been incredibly frustrating. That's all I will say. That's all I'm going to say about that. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a full-on rant. Channel 2. So impressed by channel 2. The lower range of the gain control to me just sounds straight up JCM 800. Once you get it past about 1 o'clock, it kind of sounds like you've kicked in an SD1 in front of a JCM 800. And as you bring the bass and the depth up, the low end is just so tight and solid, but still punchy. Kind of everything everybody talks about is very much true about this amp, and we haven't even hit channel 3 yet. And you've probably started the video, looked at the timestamps and gone, let's just hear channel 3 first. So I'd encourage you to go back, check out channel 1 and 2, but let's just hear channel 3 now. You know, I don't know any Tool riffs, but in Drop D, this already kind of sounds Tool-ish, and it makes me want to do a bunch of Tool-style stuff. And I am a Tool, so let's hear it. It does the thing. It's pretty much what I've always imagined a VH4 sounds like. I didn't really take into account that it can do all the other things that it does as well. And if I'm being super honest, I think the character on Channel 2 is the thing that has impressed me the most so far. But Channel 3, it's Channel 3 on a VH4. Put that out as a single channel amp, which they probably already have. I don't know too much about Diezel's, but that's why people are so obsessed with these amps. Let's hear Channel 4 now, which basically just adds even more gain on top of Channel 3. I have seen some people say Channel 4 is like a bit overrated, whatever that means, but let's just keep bashing some riffs, and then I will grab a standard tune guitar and I'll attempt to play some Metallica and Megadeth. up stumps right there. Just a few closing thoughts. I don't think these tones on their own, in isolation, are particularly going to change your life. You can get sounds very close to this for a whole lot less money, specifically if you're going for the Tool thing or you're going for the Metallica thing. Putting in the time to actually develop your chops and kind of cop the style of those players is way more important than playing through a VH4. I will just say that, although when you think of Adam Jones, you think of that colossal guitar tone, but there is a lot more that goes into it than just this amp. I'm sure it inspires Adam a lot because it is an inspiring amp to play through. And, it's not the be all and end all to get those tones, but you can see why certain players really gravitate towards this. It has a lot of character. And what I found playing through it is it makes me want to play a certain way. It makes me want to play better. Kind of like a Mark Series amp or an old JCM 800. It's pretty unforgiving, and just the experience of playing through it kind of sharpens everything up. You notice all the little nuances in your playing that maybe you're being a bit lazy with. So it's like a positive feedback loop. The amp is kind of crushing and tight and heavy, and it makes you want to lean into those characteristics, and then it sounds even tighter and more crushing and heavier. It's a bit of a cliche, but it is an amp that I think at its price point kind of justifies what it does. If you're chasing the ultimate and you want to build your sound around a particular amp, this is worthy of consideration. Kind of like a Mark IV or a Mark II C+ or a Mark III or a dual rectifier or a good example of an old JCM 800 or an AC30 or a deluxe reverb. They just kind of do a thing. You have to play it to experience it. It may not be your thing once you do that. And unfortunately, in Australia, these amps are so expensive. I couldn't recommend you just go and spend a bunch of money on trying one of these out. You really do need a buddy like Bren to let you try it out. But in summary, very, very good amp. Not for everybody. Probably not going to change your life if you've played a bunch of other stuff out there. But if you've got the coin lying around and you want something that will just make you want to actually play the guitar, the VH4 is a classic for a reason. That is all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Be good to one another, and I'll see you on the next one.